Hey geeks and gamers, Michael here. I was gonna write a post on George Michael that was admin approved. Unfortunately, my phone died and I had a lot of other stuff I had to do today, so I decided I'll do a video about it. So if you see a lot of shaking, sorry, that's me. I'm still charging my phone. I got plans tonight, so. Anyways, I just want to wish everybody at Geeks and Gamers a, you know, safe, happy New Year's. Hope everybody's doing okay tonight. And 2016 has been a hell of a year. I don't want to get into all that, hubbub. I'd rather just talk about the matter at hand. And what I want to do is I want to talk about George Michael. I know a lot of people, probably have something they want to say about Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds, and God bless them both, and Godspeed to their family. My heart, thought, and prayers are with their family. But to me, I wanted to talk about George Michael because I kind of had a past with his music and with Wham. So, it's kind of like, I had a past with Carrie and Debbie too, but to me, I just felt like George, is not getting George, I kind of felt he's not, everybody's, heartbroken about Carrie, of course, and Debbie, but I just kind of felt like, well, George passed away on Christmas, and it's kind of sad, sad that he did, because one of his biggest songs was Last Christmas when he was in his Wham days with Andrew Ridgeley, so, it's like, well, it kind of sucks, now he's not getting any attention, so I figured I'll do this because I have a connection, sort of. I never met the man, but his music kind of helps me. And anyways, so this is a post on George Michael. It is admin approved by Jeremy Griggs. Once again, thanks, Jeremy. And what I want to do is talk about George's musical career in Hollywood, if I could be okay. I know this isn't music to your ears, and I'm not part of that group, but my whole video is about how his songs were in TV shows and movies and video games, believe it or not. So, I know a lot of people are thinking, well, 2016, something I like to think of is 2016 gave him a bit of a career resurgence with Deadpool, of course, and Careless Whisper, but I didn't realize how many video games, movies, and TV show have used that song. Not just Deadpool, a lot of movies have used that song. Hell, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 years ago, the first one with Megan Fox used that song. I was like, no way, but they did. And then you look at Zoolander 1 and 2, Wake Me Up Before You Go, along with Charlie's Angels, and an episode of Third Rock from the Sun, which is the first time I ever heard of that song. And my dad was like, that's Wham. What's Wham? That's George Michael's band. I was like, oh, what? And yeah, I didn't know that George Michael was part of a band before he hit it solo. How many, like, take for example, Faith was used in so many TV shows and movies. And it's funny because that's Faith. I want to segue into this TV show he helped do called Eli Stone, which lasted for 2 seasons. And it was about a new San Francisco lawyer who's having hallucinations, and has also a tumor in his head. And while he's trying to get a cure, he sees all these visions, and he keeps hearing George Michael singing Faith, to the point where he actually meets George Michael and thinking, no, you're a hallucination. And George looks at him and is like, excuse me, Mr. Stone, could you really not touching me or making me a little uncomfortable? And some of his songs they used some of his songs. I think it was the first episode. Eli's boss, played by Victor Garber from Alias, and a couple other shows, and Titanic, ended up just singing Freedom. In the show he's supposed to be like this cold-hearted, stone cold, kind of a guy, tough, gruff guy. And here he is in a flashback, in a vision that Eli's having, singing Freedom, with a choir of children. He's like, what in the world? He looks at him, and the next, heaven knows I was a young boy, I didn't know what I wanted to be. And he's just like, no way. And then, of course, it cuts to the show, and he just looks at Eli, and he's just like, Mr. Stone, is there a reason why you're looking at me this way? And it was just one of the funniest moments ever. And I just thought it was great. And then season 2 came, and he no longer came back, on the show was canceled. I'm like, well, no wonder why it wasn't canceled. They didn't bring back George Michael. There it is. Sorry, but it's true. I mean, I know you got Seal and Sigourney Weaver and Katie Holmes was like, well, where's George? He's not there. Well, there it is. Also, recently, the movie Keanu, they featured four of his songs. One More Try, I'm sorry. Father Figure, Faith, and of course, Freedom, which is one of the funniest scenes in the whole movie. Him with the gangsters are like, what is this? Oh, shit. Yeah, yeah. And him just mouthing the words freedom. So I always thought it was one of the funniest scenes in the whole movie. And the fact that they made this joke about him, like, oh, you know Andrew Ridgely? Yeah, thanks. After George Michael, nobody ever heard him again. I just died laughing. I just thought that was hilarious. But they did that. And then, of course, I'm trying to think, what was that other movie? But to me, he just got a bit of a career resurgence, and also, I'm trying to think what else. But a lot of movies have used his songs. I also forgot an Eddie Murphy movie, Beverly Hills Cop 2, used this song, "I Want Your Sex," and recently the Miles Teller Aaron Eckhart boxing movie. Lead for this used Monkey. Why can't you do it? Why can't you do it? I'm sorry, I'm off with this, but it's like, oh, I kind of felt like you. He is just getting a resurgence, and now a lot of his songs are getting a lot of airplay on the radio, YouTube. A lot of his songs are being played again. I found this old music video he had done called "Freak" that he wrote in 2002, but he didn't perform or make a music video for 2004. And I remember the first time I heard about it, I rented Blade Runner: The Final Cut, and they had talked about and this making a featurette that a lot of music videos took elements of Blade Runner, the flying cars, futuristic LA, the Bradbury building, and just Ridley Scott just said, I remember one night I came home watching TV, and I saw this music video with all the rain and shit, and I just thought, that's from Blade Runner. Then I knew that Blade Runner had taken off. So to me, I'd seen the music video for Freak, and I wouldn't recommend it for geeks and gamers. Just no. It's too risque, but it's a hell of a good song. Nice little dance pop song. And, it's funny because George is in this red armored suit, and he's got a little goatee, and somebody said he looked like Tony Stark. I was like, not really, which is ironic because Robert Downey Jr. played George Michael in a Saturday Night Live skit, and he had the blonde, puffy, permed hair and the little stubble. And I'm just like, dude, if Robert Downey Jr. sings George Michael in like a movie or a TV show or something like that, I'm like, dude, because he can do it. He's got the singing, he's got the singing ability. Most people forget about Robert, but me personally, the reason I also wanted to do this video is because I used to do karaoke for a long time when I lived in Indianapolis. And all my Indianapolis friends will vouch like, oh, Agtane would do karaoke all the time. And I would do that. I mean, small town I lived in, and, I would just do that every Wednesday. I don't work Wednesday nights. I take those days off. I'll come in Thursday afternoon or Thursday night, but do not call me on Wednesday night because I ain't coming in. And I did that for 5 years. In fact, to the point where my last year living there, I basically would come in with like a dinner jacket, a top hat, props, whatever. I would just make a concert event out of it. And one of the songs I would sing would be Freedom 90. And to me, that's my all-time favorite George Michael song. I just downloaded it on my phone from Google Play, along with Everything She Wants. And to me, it would be like a song I would start out with, and then here I would just do my thing. And I just remember the music video, and of course the models, Cindy Crawford, Linda Evangelista, Christy Turlington, Naomi Campbell, Tiazza Pizzi. I can't remember say her name to save my life, but she was the model. She was one of the models in it, and she was also in Rising Sun playing the murdered gal that Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes have to find. Anyways, all of them were just lip syncing the song, and he would sing. And the cool thing about that is the models have the reputation of being the Freedom Girls. The Freedom 90 girls, I'm sorry. And this year they did lip sync battle between Zachary Quintano and Zoe Saldana. And when Zach decided to sing Freedom 90, he dressed up like George, and they had Cindy Crawford in the bathtub reprising her role. And then Chrissy Teigen would play one of the models walking on stage. And then, of course, he would still sing. Cindy Crawford would come back on the stage wearing heels, a white shirt, and brown undies. basically being there while Zach would, serenade her. The whole, yeah, yeah, freedom. I won't let you down, freedom. That will not give you a freedom. You gotta give what you give. Sorry. So, to me, I mean, again, well, the last year I started doing karaoke, Eli Stone came out, and the funniest thing is they started playing George's music again in Indianapolis radio stations. They would play the VH1 channel would play. What was I gonna say? One day I came home, I turned it on, VH1 Behind the Music, George Michael, or any biography, George Michael, and it's like, okay, what is going on here? So it kind of felt weird, but they would mention a lot, and then they would play his music at work. And I remember I had to work Easter with a friend of mine, Heather, and I was telling her this funny idea. Like every time I turn on the TV, they always play like George Michael, and I'm just thinking, I think he's haunting me. This is like, no, it's not that bad. All right, and then like 3 hours into work while taking a coffee break, and one of my coworkers says, "Hey, we're looking for Sal. What time's he going home?" And she jokes, "Oh, Sal's gonna be here till the end of time." And then she did the whole now 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 from Father Figure, and me and Heather just busted up laughing, hugging each other. Just thought it was funny. So there was that. So to me, in a weird sense, when I heard about George passing away, my heart sank because 8 years ago I did his music on karaoke, and this year I felt he got a bit of a career resurgence, and now it's a shame. He was only 53 years old. Such a young age, middle age of that. So to me, again, it's just heartbreaking. But I felt like, I'm not saying he didn't get a proper due, but again, it's kind of hard with everything that's been going on. A lot of people hate 2016 because of what the recent, with all the current events and what's going on. And I kind of have a love-hate relationship with the year. It was my most financially successful year. The Denver Broncos won the Super Bowl, and Leonardo DiCaprio finally won his Oscar. So, that's a good thing. And then the bad things is, with George, Carrie, Debbie, and Prince, it's like, man. So, and David Bowie. I can't forget David. All I could say is this: Heaven is having one hell of a concert. So, I don't want to sound dark and Morton, but that's just my opinion. And also, I forgot, every time I play Grand Theft Auto 5 and I'm in a car, I'm in an airplane, I'm just like, please play it, please play it. And I'm in a car, and then next thing I hear this whole, somebody told me for everything she wants is everything she sees. Boom, boom, boom. And there's that, awesome synth, hey, 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 oh, oh, ooh, ooh, doo, da, na, 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 somebody tell me, oh, won't you tell me why I work so hard for you to give you money, oh, to give you money, hey. Okay, I'll stop singing, but thank you, geeks and gamers. Have a safe New Year's 2017, and rest in peace. God bless George Michael. Thank you guys. I'm out.